But for those who weren't here last time, we learned the lighting stuff, so we're actually past that. And we're at 2 hours and 4 minutes and 13 seconds. And yesterday was more of a digestion, so we really digested a good bit of, like, the baking stuff. Everything else was, I mean, kind of already knew from, like, the previous parts, but mainly seeing just how it works versus how the baking works and, like, what use cases it's going to be. But not only that, we're going to still stay in cozy mode, because since we're doing this stuff, which again, if you don't know what that means, you know, less webcam, more in a cozy type state here. But let me do this too, because gotta make sure. Also, we're getting into the terrain stuff, which we made a new level, landscape underscore example. So let's get into that, and here it is. Also, what the heck? Wait, okay, it's just, I was about to say, is it loading? It is loading, okay. Interesting, so that's how it does. I guess we were seeing the LODs first, maybe? Let's go, Unreal Learning. The landscape, that's what we're doing. Okay, so here. M underscore landscape? Okay. Material underscore landscape.
And okay. I'm going to dock it up here so I can switch in between my level and landscape.
Yes.
Now the difference between a normal material and a landscape material is one node, and that is landscape layer blend. So select it.
Okay.
And here we have the layer blend. Notice how we don't have any inputs. That's because we need to specify inputs in the details panel right here. So the inputs are essentially going to be layers.
Blend stuff.
So you can have a grass layer, a dirt layer, a sand layer, and then within your landscape editing mode, we'll be able to paint on those individual layers on our landscape. So to add in a layer, select your layer blend, and under layers, click on the add button, and make sure you click on the...
Wait, okay. Extend this a little bit here. Okay.
Triangles to see the drop down.
No, he did one. Okay, so he did. Oh, okay. I see.
Now for the first layer, call this one grass.
And then you would open. Okay, so it's kind of like Blender when you notes. It's just on the left-hand side. When you're doing the Blender inputs and outputs, we're just making like input stuff. Okay, because we're actually legit creating that stuff here. Awesome.
And the second layer, call this one dirt.
Dirt.
Now this is just for demonstration, so it's not going to look very good. But to get the point across, let's go find a grass texture and a dirt texture under starter content.
Okay,
textures,
apply.
And we're going to use T underscore.
Oh yeah, that's right, because we can beep it.
For ground.
Okay, I'm just going to use, well, I do want to use different materials, actually. We're right here anyways. But I don't know if there's... What would be a base undertone? So it'd be like grass? Because from me using the Metaphor Assault Squad 2, I kind of got more experience on how to do that layering and then also just drawing in my meantime. So it'd be best to have like either a darker undertone and then have a lighter one on top. Or if there's like moss is going to go on top, then you have grass on bottom. Wait, what? Oh, he's bringing the actual material in. Okay, so this is textures. I see. And this would be grass. Okay. What? What was it named then? Oh, it's ground grass? It doesn't... Oh. Okay, that needs to be improved. So he's bringing this in. You're gonna bring everything else?
Also for dirt. Looks like we don't have a dirt, so I'm just gonna use...
gravel, technically. Hey, moss. That's right. Moss. Bring the moss in. I feel like we're gonna need the normals,
the
right?
metal rust texture, because that does look like dirt, and it will get the point across. So drag in metal rust as our dirt.
Yes.
Now hook up grass right there and dirt.
Let's see how this looks though. So I want. So wait, actually, which? Okay, so grass. Yeah, okay, grass and dirt. Okay.
And I'll put these into base color and let's press apply.
Let me do this then. Dirt, moss, layer moss. Going into the diffuse, and then you save it.
Save everything. Jump back into landscape examples. And now to apply the landscape material to our landscape, we can't just drag our material onto the landscape like that. Instead, in the details panel, scroll down and get landscape material and
oh, because specifically since this is a landscape? So it's a little bit more complex than that? Then we just drag and drop like this.
Drag on the landscape material to the slot right there and let go. But we get a really weird black texture since we need to specify where these layers are. Right now, Unreal isn't picking any layers, so it's just defaulting to black. Hop back into your landscape mode by pressing Shift and 2. And within Paint, we have our layer. So we need to create our layer.
Wait. Paint. Oh, it's slow. Okay, I'm like, I don't got that. Preparing.
And store them somewhere within our content drawer. So to create a layer, click on the Add button, and you want to select Weight Blended Layer Normal.
Okay.
So select that. It's going to ask us to create a new landscape layer info, and it's going to automatically create a new folder for us where our map is located called our map name and shared assets. Now we could also create a new folder by right-clicking and going New Folder.
I think
or we could pretty much save this anywhere else in our project, but I'm just going to leave it as default value and also leave it at the default name it's generating, which is grass_layer info. Let's do the same thing for dirt by clicking on the plus button and going Weight Blended Layer Normal. Select that.
It does it right there, but it's like...
Also click on Save at the same location.
So many buttons that I gotta do like one kind of simple thing.
So now we have 2 layers in a folder that's right next to our maps. And go to Save All. Now, obviously, this landscape is too shiny. So jump back into our landscape. Hold down 1 and lift.
Okay. Cool. Then... Oh, that's right. Left click. And then we get a constant, because if you remember, left mouse button 1, hold down 1, and then left click. Hold down 2, left click, hold down 3, left click, 4. Also, I found the button end is where you place objects on the flat surface if they're like hovering above.
Click,
found that out.
Scale of parameter.
Now that's stuck in my head now.
1, so we have complete roughness to get rid of that shine. Press apply, and our landscape is.
No, I didn't mean to go into the negative. No, there we go. Roughness. Wait, did you do metallic? I want to see how that looks. I think that'd be too much, of course, but screw it. Why not? I want to see. Oh, okay.
Looking better, but I also think we
save. So much stuff is compiling, so I do apologize for a little lag. That looks better. I see it. Okay. But the repeating pattern, how do you fix that? It's not too bad, but you place rocks and stuff like that. I was like, I thought the ground was disappearing. I'm like, what is going on? Because I was like, oh no.
We should add in normal maps to give the texture a little bit of pop to it. So come back into our landscape.
Oh, dog. Okay. I mean, I think I know. It's either he didn't really think about that, or he thought about that, but he wants us to go back and do it multiple times so we can remember. And either way, it's actually good.
And let's control and space under textures, so starter content, textures.
And then, what was it? Ground. Because I knew it too. My instincts was like, we're going to want it. I saw a YouTube question asking if Blender should go to expanded to it. Do you think they should compete with others? Was it a tweet thing? Because I did. Well, I don't know if it was a tweet, but if it was Blender Guru, might have been because of that. I actually voted on that. I said yes initially. I still think they should, but because it's the whole discussion on why they shouldn't for Blender is because there's other things that should be put in first, which is true. It's not a game engine. It shouldn't be turned into one just yet. It's a video editing software / modeling software, so imagine adding game engine capabilities into that. And then being able to somehow maybe composite your in-game cinema camera through your actual video editing thing and do it all in one. Dog, that would be sick. It's a legit all-in-one software for free. It would compete on Unreal. But the time... They say it's crazy for, like, making this stuff, but it's like, really? I don't think it really is. I mean, of course, from scratch, you gotta do everything, but that's more time. But it's like, is there no way to somehow... There's got to be a way to find some type of shell of an engine, and then they can work off of that more so. Unless it want, because they're Blender, so they probably want to do everything from ground, and that's why everybody's like, knowing that and knowing the Blender developers, it would just take a while for anything else to kind of be done. And they just did a Blender nodes thing where it can now do simulations finally, because the community was like, please do that. Because that stuff should be put in first, because we have Unreal right now. We got Unreal 5, this is good for now. But if they had a bigger team, I would want at least 2 people to start. Just like they do, they put one guy on, especially when they had a smaller team. They put one guy on it, and he kind of starts it out. And then more people jump on it to later that are completely different people, or it's the same person along with a group under him, or just people that just work on it, freelance-wise. But it would be a baller move by Blender if they did that. That would be crazy. And it would be sick if they didn't have the thing where it's like, you don't have to pay us anything. Unreal, you have to when you get to a certain point. Blender, you don't. And the owner, which sucks because Blender Guru even talked about it. It's like, the owner's alive still. He actually had cancer, went through treatment, recovering. Looks really good, much better than he did. I follow him on Twitter and stuff. He's the one who started the whole thing, like, with like a small group, and that guy, he's in full control of everything. If that type of control goes away, then I don't know what Blender would be or could be with a price tag, because I don't want a price tag on it, and it should never have a price tag in any way, shape, or form. So if it has a game engine, it shouldn't have a price tag. And I don't, not just saying that because I want a preference, not saying that because they don't deserve it. They're getting money. Their whole thing is they get money from support, which is like a Patreon, not a Patreon thing. It's more like donations. But if you actually go to Blender and scroll down, it'll say we're supported by, and it will show so many different big names because everybody keeps supporting them, knowing how much Blender is boosting than every other system, which is crazy. Because if Blender didn't really have anything to offer and was really competing on my end everything, then why is all those big names going after them? It's crazy. And it's free. They're not getting money. It's just there's so many people using models and stuff. It's copyright stuff. If you get a 3D model of a chair, or you try to build that chair and you want to try to put it on a stream and then you monetize it, you're allowed to do that. They're okay with that. There's, of course, recently in game development, mainstream names, it's weapons, there's certain things that are like that. But even still, that's because they're big names and they know that they're making a lot of money and they're just trying to be cheeky and trying to get some of that money. Because what they're really getting at the crux is free monetization through people making the models, making tutorials of it, showing the models, and people wanting to go buy the thing, whatever model that said thing is, whether it's a chair or an object. And that's where Blender has proved its worth times like 20, because all these other programs are paid and nobody's can pay them because they're hundreds literally for like a month for no reason. Because where's that money going? Nowhere. So it's like having Blender and seeing where they don't really get that money. They're getting money, but they're not getting that type of money. monthly, and you see how fast they're improving all that stuff. So, if, like, imagine if they had their own game engine, and then they had this stuff. That's where I'm like, oh man, kind of sucks, but really awesome, because that kind of like proves just like how crazy
Let's find where
the
grass
position
is.
Blender's in right now,
Right
and how
here,
good
drag
it
on
like
normal
it
map.
is.
And let's find
There wasn't mean like a Blender versus Maya, but
where the
100%
normal map
Blender's
is
better.
for Rust. And that is.
I said it would. I understand how it works. It was kind of always better. It's just the UI interface was the issue. Until they fixed that, then it really showed, oh wait, no, this is actually good because all the stuff was still in there that they already put in. It just has better UI. Then they added like the nodes. If they've only added a few core big things, but have improved so much on the node parts. Like Unreal isn't changing these nodes and like trying to improve them right now. Blender is, and they have been consistently for like 2 years now, which is so important. Especially from my eyes, I could see just how much that's changing the game and going to change the game even more. Because Blender is not going to... It doesn't really do simulations too well. It's going to be a program to do simulations now. So you don't have to go to EmberGen, which is a fluid simulation, smoke simulation. You wouldn't have to go to them anymore because Blender can do it now in nodes way faster, or as fast as they can do. Because you're using the nodes technique, which is awesome. And then that means it's way more changeable because those programs have the node program, but they're not Blender. So it's like people are trying to mimic Blender, but once Blender actually hits that, they're going to be on top each time if they stay in that consistent thing. Now, it's going to be a while before that kind of... They fully envelop the... Well, you should come to us because all the other tools are worse technically in comparison. It's probably going to be 10, 15 years. Still a good far away because all the other programs are going to catch up. And they're only going to want to catch up faster, which is good because then that means better games for everybody because everybody has better tools. And people aren't
is right there and
being lazy because they're
so
getting
I want to blend
literally hundreds of millions of dollars for programs
Which
that are, again, really good. But
normal
like,
maps, just like how
could
we're
be
blending
much
between
better.
base colors. And I can do that
Much-
by copying and pasting my layer
much
blend,
better.
which I can do with Control and D to duplicate.
but the beautiful thing is right now that we are living like in the future, but not like super far in the future.
And
At least not yet. Which is awesome because that's coming quick, fast.
plug up the normal map
Especially
right there.
once more goodies
And
come in. Okay, so layer blend, interesting. Because the layer blend, again, mix RGB. Like, it's this, it's, I know it's for this, but it's like, those tentacle constraints. I know there's going to be like, I don't know, I don't see there being any type of tentacles constraints. Just technically, only constraint there is
Plug up the
our
Rust normal map right there
creativity
and
to
put those
create
both
code
in.
for that stuff.
Now we have 2 layer blends.
Because once we get, I can guarantee, once we get this AI stuff, there'll be like auto-generate code, which is already happening. But once it's like perfected to almost to like the AI picture stuff right now, bruh, imagine that stuff. It's going to show us like, oh wait, no, you can do it, and it's super easy. In the sense of like, if you actually took the steps to make it
With
there.
the sampling for
I
the-
can always preface that because it technically isn't, but if you actually took time doing that stuff over the course of like, you know, like I say, step by step. If you do that, you're eventually going to get there, no matter what.
The same
So
exact
it's like,
layers
bruh.
that we just created in our landscape editing mode. And press apply.
And that's awesome to note because that's like, same thing goes for you. It's like, hey, well, if you want to learn this awesome stuff, step by step, baby, you'll get there soon enough. And then you'll have tools that are better as well, especially right now. Funny thing is, right now, it's like we're the first generation of those kids that I was talking about earlier that are like from the future that are just like clicking one buttons and they're making like all crazy stuff. We're technically the first generation right now. Like seriously, like because before none of this stuff was really like this type of mainstream, but now it really is. And that means this is the first generation, which is awesome.
Let's jump into
Like
dirt
really, really awesome.
and lower the brush size just a little bit. See the tool
Oh.
strength is at 0.3.
Oh,
Hold
you
down the mouse
click on
button.
them.
I'm now
Ooh, you can actually click on them. Interesting. Let me move this here. Compiling shaders. Yes. There it is. Yeah, okay, so I did have it backwards. Yes. how easy would this be to change? I was thinking if like maybe I can. Okay, so this would be. Let me see this real quick. My instincts were telling me, but I wanted to try it. Oh wait, so will that just flop them immediately? Because that's actually pretty sick in comparison to the RTS engine. It did, I think. It did. Oh, that's pretty. Oh, okay, so that's. Oh, that's pretty nice. The RTS engine is pretty old. It's got like basics. Oh, that's awesome because we could do way more like texture editing in here than you could in there. That's awesome. That's the power right there of seeing like the old versus new, because you can see what transfers, what doesn't, and what you got to do new, but also what, because you know the process of doing the new stuff also has new abilities as well. So what you couldn't do before, you can do now type situation. Awesome. Because it's dark, and then you want like light, and then you want to kind of like patch it up. Because you don't just want to. Even that RTS engine, I used like so many different for my maps, so many different ones, but just like a base layer. This is like this. This is at a higher elevation, so not in a full swamp. This would be like stone. Let's see what he.
To blend in between dirt.
Because I don't know what he's going to say here.
One thing I like to do whenever I'm creating my landscape is to get a human reference. That's how I'm able to compare the size of my landscape next to human. And this is especially helpful since one thing I want to do with landscape is add in texture tiling, but it's hard to know how much I should tile this texture when there isn't a human reference. So to get a human reference, you want to come up to add.
He's right. I mean, I can kind of do this and kind of get a good gist, but he's right.
And add feature or.
Oh, he's doing it like that. Oh, yes, please. Wait, hold up. Because this is like legit. Oh my goodness. When we do these things, I'm more like in like, you know, very cozy mode, which and also kind of like sleepy, but like this is so get me giddy. Like so giddy. Like the abilities. Oh, you know, almost like analysis paralysis. There's so many things you can do, endless, and like just like, oh, get reminded of that. Like, oh yeah, we can just like once you understand this stuff and you're trying to create your own thing, it's like, duh, you can drag it in, try it. And it's like it feels weird, right? Because it's like you kind of feel like constricted as a gamer. Like, wait, what? But no, yeah, go ahead, throw it in.
You want to come up to add.
It's so weird. But yeah, I'm getting that feeling. It's like, wait, what?
Add feature or content.
I hope he is, but if not, but it's still the thing, because seeing that, just seeing this is like, oh.
And select the third person. We can see that there's.
Why would you go third person? I mean, if you're making third, well, that depends. Because, fun fact, sorry if I'm talking a lot, but fun fact about Bungie, when they were making Halo, it was originally in third person, originally an RTS game. Then they kept moving the camera down and down, like it was up here. Then they kept shifting it down and down and down into first person. But one dude, which was like one of the main leads, which is respectable, but also that is hovering. I was about to say, like, why is that like that? Because he had a dream and he wanted to see it fulfilled, but he wanted to be in third person. But it's just the maps and everything just didn't work. Even though they were kind of made for third person, if you actually play the first game, you would really see that. And they tried to do that with the second game as well. And they tried to do it with the third one as well. They kept trying to do it. And the same guy was like, maybe we could try because we have better technology and stuff. It's just like with the tiling and with everything, it's very different view, which is important to know, frankly.
A mannequin right here, which we're gonna.
But it's awesome because, like, you know, Halo, Bungie, original group Bungie, which is from original Halo Combat Evolved to Halo Reach.
We're gonna be using as our reference.
Halo Wars was made by a different group, but they actually nailed that really well, to be fair.
And select
the first one, not second.
Add to project. So this one.
I'm gonna do it though. Well, actually, because this can get a little confusing for like following. I'm gonna do this. Just going into the flow with this. Plus, it would be cool because I remember I first did first person stuff, so it'd be cool to do it there. Wait, did I just add the project? Oh no, am I right here?
We'll add a bunch of new assets to our project.
Oh no, he just okay. So I thought that was a new window that popped up. So if I go to content or drag this up, what up? So added, right? Be an edge. Where are you going? Third. Oh, it's right here. Oh, it's right here. Third person. I see. So it adds it in content. Okay, that's where it injects the stuff. Oh, sorry for this. My bad. Injects in there.
Specifically, I want to use the assets in character, mannequins, meshes, and we can do skm_Manny. So.
Okay, so interesting. Mannequins, meshes, Manny. Okay. Oh, waiting for the meshes. This feels a little different from last time. Maybe I'm thinking about Unity. Probably didn't think about Unity when I did this. Oh, well, I did. Well, actually, no, I don't know if I did it first in Unreal. No, I did. Oh, wait, is he? Oh.
Drag that out to get a human size reference to compare our landscape textures to.
Is it loading? Wait, what? It's just prepared 157 shaders, so it's going through all. Oh, and he's in the ground. Oh, yeah, no wonder. It's a model. Shift to 1. Where's your origin point, Manny? Wait, what? Wait, what is he? Oh, no. It's because I added him in the thing, that he's part of the thing? Wait. Did I somehow bug this out? By placing this dude in the landscape mode? Let me try it again. Oh. What? Oh, so that was a visual bug. There's Manny. Then I wanted to do this. Ready? N key. Boom. On your keyboard. Finally.
Place him right there.
Okay.
So this human.
Also this first. This isn't. Well, N key, right? Yeah. Hold up. N key. Yeah. Let's go.
If I zoom in on the grass, you can see that probably the grass is a little bit too small. So let's fix that.
I feel like
it's
mine's too big.
And the way we change the
because the terrain voxel size, because if it is bigger, it's going to be a higher K texture, so you would probably want to bump that up. Depending on what you're doing, though, because of the texture, and like the scaling of the textures 100% dictates that, as well as the terrain, whatchamacallits, the resolution. I would imagine. Yes.
Tiling of any textures is the exact same way we did with m_master material.
So that was
the texture coordinates, and we multiplied it by a parameter value, so we were able to edit it in the instance of this material. Now I could recreate this from scratch for m_landscape, or I can highlight all of that, press Control and C.
Oh, I was hoping he's going to say then you could press. Is there like a node wrangler, like because there's a Blender add-on that like you press Control T and it like just does that stuff for you automatically? Because that would be awesome. I need to figure out all the add-on stuff. I haven't gone into that just yet. Once I do, I'll let you guys know. I'm gonna have them all loaded. I'll be all plugged in out. Cause like taking the time not to go through. There we go. It's not bad, but it's just like I want to try to streamline this if it is possible. And then probably if you can at a certain point, then maybe try to figure out how to code my own add-on and then make it myself.
See,
when in doubt,
m_landscape and Control and V.
Do it yourself.
Now I can plug this up to grass, and also I want to plug this up to the normal map of grass.
Wait, what?
Which is right here. So if you remember, both this texture and this texture handle
grass,
I see. Since they're both being fed into the grass layers of the layer blend node. So press
okay,
apply,
so you want,
and we won't notice any changes since we have to create a material instance of our landscape and apply it to the landscape.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was like, wait, because I'm looking at this, I'm like, that doesn't look right here, Chief.
So right click, go.
Right click, create material instanced, landscape, I_, Control S. Then open this up, and here it is. Size parameter.
Create material instance.
Right.
And drag this material instance onto our landscapes.
Oh, that's right, because I'm like, click the landscape. Material instance. There's that, which I think that already changed. Why can't I see it here?
With the landscape selected.
That's bothering me.
So just do that.
Because how do I see both?
Let's undock it.
Also, what the
Bring
heck?
it into the maps right there. Click on.
Oh, well, that's how you do it. Okay. Let's try to make this the best view for you guys. Because I'll definitely be undocking this stuff as much as possible and all that stuff. Make it flexible. Make it feel good. I see. The denoising, when I do it a lot, it's kind of hard to see when it goes very small. Yeah, look at that. You can really tell there. So, forest foot, that's actually good. Because I'm probably going to want both. That's... No, that's not. I'm like, that's not moss. Oh, no, wait. I was about to say, some of that is moss. But it's like semi-overlayered, which is good, but I want to see... pure moss. I know I could do the other one. Like, separate it and then have that parameter, then I can adjust both, which he's probably going to do this.
And I want to increase the size of my texture by
but you get that
tiling.
scaling, though.
So instead of 1, let's try 0.5.
It feels
okay,
realistic.
That looks better. Maybe even 0.3.
But it's just the tiling is the issue.
So this was beforehand at 1.
So that
now this is the tiling at 0.3.
Kind of be better to increase it then.
Look better. Now I also want to add in tiling features for our dirt. So I can highlight this, press Control C, Control V, and paste it right there.
It feels so weird to me.
Dirt, and plug this up to normal map.
Because interesting.
But if
yeah. So he did. Okay. That's right. Go into here. No, that's right. Because we got to go in here. So then Control D is overlap, right? Oh, up and up. Size. Texture. _2. _size. I like to do a lot of underscores. Makes it the visuals look good. And like this. Easy to read and all that stuff. Especially for my eyes. Now for this, again, extended and all that, so I probably won't do this, because since this little box doesn't matter, extend that sucker out. But also, can I do that? I can. Oh no, it's already extended. Okay. I see. Oh. So I can actually see the full name. And then, boom. I wonder if I can see... text. Oh, no. I see why. Oh, man, not really fully thinking about that. There we go. Now that's good, because I was adjusting the normals. Because I saw something changing. I'm like, what is... It's not that. What is changing? Well, the only thing else that's hooked up is the normal itself. Yep. Okay. There's the tile instantly. Wow, actually, I like the 78, though. Right? Unless I'm tripping? Or is it just because I messed up the normal so bad now it actually looks good? Probably both. Let's make sure. Yeah. Unless that's the moss? No. What?
if I press apply and go back into our material instance, we have a pretty big issue right here. And that is, now our size controls both. Let's come over to the dirt. Controls both our grass and dirt. And we want to control those independently. And the issue is in Unreal for material parameters. If you have two parameters with the same exact name, then they're going to be treated the same within the material instance. So the way you fix this is that you have to give each of these parameters a different name. So call this one size grass, and then call this one down here size dirt, and press apply. And now that should be different. So we also get the dirt parameter within our instance. So let's jump back into landscape example, and
You can actually see it changing. I guess, wait, what? So, is taking a normal texture to size. Okay. Why is it... Does it automatically blend both? Is that what I'm seeing? I might be seeing that, actually. Hold up. Interesting. What? Okay. Then... Okay, I see it. Okay. Interesting. It is... Oh, okay, so it's... So with this one, I thought I just wanted grass over here. Which I feel like that's not working. Oh, no, that is. Okay, so now it is. Okay. Save. Shift 1. It is, unless it's... Oh, no. Is it doing this? No. I did not mean to do that. Okay.
press Shift and 2 to go into landscape mode. Select dirt, because I want to paint a little bit of dirt right next to the mannequin, so we can see what
But
grass
why is
and
it
dirt
doing it
look
for
like
mine, though?
in relationship to our human scale reference.
Because then I'm kind of worried that this is still detecting that I have the both normals hooked up. But I don't.
Now with dirt right there, let's go increase it to 0.3, maybe even 0.
Interesting. Maybe it's because I swapped the textures.
Actually, I think 1.2 looks good. So just a little bit more
Maybe.
tiling with our dirt. If you are curious how to make a really good landscape
it does
material,
look-
I do have a landscape tutorial series on my YouTube channel. While
Oh.
it is for Unreal Engine 4, pretty much all of it still applies to Unreal Engine 5.
Hey.
That was the very basics of landscapes. Now we're going to go over how we can get assets from the Megascans library. So in case you don't know, Unreal already comes with thousands of free high-quality assets ready to be used immediately in Unreal Engine. You
Okay.
can get these assets through the Quixel Bridge plugin, which is already installed in Unreal. Before we jump into
Oh, it's already
Megascans,
installed.
Let's
Let's
make some
go.
edits to our world. So first off,
Okay.
I'm going to get rid of my landscape material since I think it's a little bit distracting and I just want to focus on the Megascan assets. So select my landscape, scroll down to the landscape material slot, and let's reset it back to the world grid by selecting the arrow right there. There we go. And I also want to lock my exposure with the post-process volume. So come into
No, I
volumes,
don't want to do that.
post-process, drag it out.
Okay, I'll do a post-process. Wait, do we already have it? No, we do.
And scroll up to exposure.
Exposure.
Set it to manual and exposure
Lens, exposure, manual.
compensation. Notice that there
Manual.
is no change right now because I
Okay.
need to make sure that infinite extend unbound is turned on.
Okay. That's right, you gotta always... Oh. Always remember that.
Now I can increase the exposure compensation. I found a value of 12 to be pretty good. And I'm also going
Okay.
to raise the position of my sun so we get more light in the world. Okay, so now that the sun was raised,
Like this,
notice
though.
that the brightness of the sun also increased. So exposure compensation, I'm going to lower it to 11 or 11.5. All right, great. So let's go over how we can get access to the Quixel Bridge library. And getting access is pretty simple. You just want to come up to the Add button and then select Quixel Bridge. Now, if this is your first time logging into Quixel Bridge, it might
Bridge.
ask you
Interesting.
to log into your Epic Games account. Don't worry, it's the same exact account that you created.
Wait, first time? This is first time. I see that button over there. Oh, but that number? These numbers? Oh, they look real
While
good.
downloading Unreal Engine. So just go into that, and then you get access to, right now at the time of recording, 16,688 assets.
What? What happened? How much are the assets?
Absolutely
they
amazing.
might be getting
Now,
refurbished
for some
or
reason you
something.
don't have Quixel Bridge installed in Unreal Engine, then you want to go to the Epic Games
something
Launcher,
is restricting
come to
me.
Unreal Engine Library, scroll all the way down to Vault, and find the Quixel Bridge plugin. Once you found the Quixel Bridge plugin, click on Install to Engine and select Unreal Engine 5. Although by default, this plugin should be installed, so you shouldn't have this issue. But it's important to bring up just in case you don't see Quixel Bridge.
Legend.
Now let's open up Quixel Bridge, and let's go over a simple example of bringing in a 3D object. So to bring in a 3D object is pretty simple. Number one, you want to find a 3D
So let's continue. So he wants an asset.
object that you like. So
Okay, that I like 3D assets. I don't even get access to this in Blender. This is what's spicy. Man, if Blender also had something like this too. My goodness. There's so much. Also, my mic's probably gonna lag a lot because I'm going through all this, which is loading. I want some swampy stuff. No. Rotten tree stump?
maybe this rock right here. Then
Download?
all I have to do is select this rock
Size?
and let me make my screen window just a little bit smaller. Hold down the left mouse button and drag it into your world, just like.
What? Download, right? Download medium quality? Nanite? What I want nanite? I don't know. Maybe? I'll just download it. Remember, wherever your engine or Unreal Engine is, if you don't have a hard drive, unfortunately, don't technically have a hard drive space for it, put it into a hard drive that has as much space as possible. You might have to delete stuff later on if you want to try to download this stuff. That's the price to pay to have these type of assets. And also textures, but I'd say it's worth it. And it's not that much too, unless you download the whole thing. Which you might do at a certain point by trying to place everything. Or like trying to make something super fleshed out. I wonder if this is like super detailed. I don't know what nanite means. I know he said drag and drop. Really? Wow, so you could just legit just drag and drop from... I know you didn't see that, which I do apologize. I know, yeah, this is a big thing, so I do apologize for the lag. There we go. Ah, there it is. Okay, sorry about that. It's because I'm... It's because I'm streaming. This would unless you have, you know, poopy PC, this is what would happen to, like, load it in. Mainly that is, CPU and then hard drive speed. A little bit of graphics, but mainly that type of stuff. Graphics for this type of stuff, though. Interesting, okay. Because what I did, because I legit just click, hold, drag. That's it. And I downloaded Nanite. You probably still have to download it, but I wonder what version it would download. Wow. Wow. You can really tell this is a photo scanned object by going inside it and seeing that stuff. That is super detailed. Which is actually getting much, much easier for you to just photo scan your own objects, so not needing... Basically, well, Quixel's good because they scan it for you, so you'd have to go outside and find a rotten tree like this. But if you got a rotten tree near you, take videos and photos of it. Now, I'm being, like, no joke, because later on you can use it to actually create a 3D object. Even right now, if you actually pay some programs, Nerf, or something like that, and then Polycam.
If it's an asset from the content browser. And now we have our rock in our world.
Yeah.
Importing realistic assets.
Yo. Kind of looks like a Hell It Loose thing, huh? But better.
Unreal Engine have never been this easy. And if I press Control and Space, we can see in our content folder that 2 new folders were created, specifically Megascans and MS Presets. So Megascans
Oh, so it immediately put me into this because I saw this. Okay. And it puts 3D assets. Oh, that's nice.
contains all our Megascan assets that we get from Bridge. For example, we have a folder called 3D Assets, and inside 3D Assets, we have another folder called Mossy Forest Rock, and right here are all the assets that make up, specifically this rock right here. Now, the other folder, if we go back to content, right next to Megascans is MS Presets. So MS Presets contains all the master materials that Quixel Bridge uses. So if we go out into content, back to Megascans 3D Assets, Mossy Forest Rock, we'll see that the material that's using is a material instance. So it's not a material by itself.
Oh, and they are.
If I scroll down to the material instance, you can see what its master material is, and it's using m_ms default fuzz material. And if I click on the magnifying glass,
looking, and they get all that stuff hooked up. That is nice. That is nice.
it's going to jump to its location, which is of course under MS Presets, which contains all those master materials.
Oh, that's nice.
And you also notice that we do get a bunch of parameters. So we're going to go over all the main material parameters that Quixel Bridge provides to us, which we'll use consistently. So to begin, let's go over albedo controls.
Yeah, because this is Quixel, so each and every single one of them has the stuff. That's what you're... If you were to pay for this, that's basically what you're paying as well. Make a scans, them scan in and that stuff. Because you can technically all do this yourself.
Move my window off to the side so we can better see our assets. So albedo tint does exactly what...
Oh, that's true. Okay, so yeah, let's go in here. I mean, it looks good right now, but let's see what we can do. What? Albedo tint. Oh. Oh. That's actually really nice.
Color tint does that we just created for our own master material. So I can completely change the color of my asset. I'm going to press cancel since I don't want to make any changes to my color right now. And below that is albedo controls. Now we don't see any albedo controls right now since I need to click on the triangle icon to get a drop down. So right here we have saturation, brightness, and contrast, and they all do exactly as you would expect. Saturation increases the saturation of our asset, bring it back to its default value of 1. Brightness controls how bright the asset is, and this is probably the parameter I use the most with Megascan assets, especially if I'm trying to get a lot of different assets to blend together well. I'm going to try to control their brightness to make sure they all have a similar value to each other. And below that is contrast. And all of these have a default value of 1. Now below that is metallic. Generally, I don't have to play with it because this asset isn't metallic. But if you do want to override one of the metallic behaviors, for example, increase the base metallic from 0, which is what it should be since this asset isn't metallic, to 1, and then bring metallic map override to 0. Now we can see that the asset is metallic, although I wouldn't recommend you to do it, but it is good to know that those options are there. So I'm going to reset them to their default value. And then below that is roughness. So roughness controls how shiny the asset is, exactly what we learned about during the PBR section of the material chapter. So max roughness is at 1. If I bring this to 0, then the rocks have no roughness and are really shiny. I'm going to bring back...
Wait, min-max. Oh, so it's scaled as well. Oh, that's awesome. So you can have it scaled, or it can just have like a set.
It back to 1. Below that is normal strength, which is like the flattened normal. Although now, if we increase normal strength, the normal increases, and then if we decrease this to 0, then the normal map has no effect on our assets. So obviously, we do want to leave this at 1, so the normal map has a little bit of effect. So there's still a bunch of other parameters that we could play with, but these are all the main ones that are needed for props just like this.
Fuzz shading. SSS. Something. Subsurface scattering. That's what it is. Subsurface scattering controls. Ooh, so this is probably something I would love. Which would be more of a brown. Well, I mean, depending how you want to, like, get everything kind of working together. I like to kind of use it where I use the color of the actual thing. I don't think, well, technically, yes, it does collect the color. Subsurface scattering collects the color of that object, boom, and then pushes it back out so you can see the object nearby, blah, blah, blah. And then also you have reflectivity, which is a different thing because that's for metal, but for subsurface, you can have a range of subsurface color in Blender as well if you have a color ramp. And then add different petals, and then you can extrude that. And then also you have the RGB controls, of that as well.
Now, let's go over
And then principal BSDF shader. Man, that's crazy. Like for me to remember that stuff, I'm terrible at remembering names, but man, I'm finally getting there.
how we import
You get there, and once you do, oh my goodness,
surface
it's
material,
crazy.
which is different from a prop, since surfaces are good for a floor like this cube. And not necessarily meant for specific props. So let's go into Quixel Bridge, and let's find a nice surface.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even. That's. That makes me just wanna. Wow, that's awesome. That's. For Polygon, they don't have that many free assets for you to use. Oh my goodness. I mean, you can do this all yourself, but it's just like for like all and plants too. Oh, that's right. Oh my goodness. How cheeky would it be to take these assets and put them in Blender? I don't know if can, but it's like if I just go to the files where the stuff is, right, and just like take it and put it in Blender. But well, it depends on what you want to do. If it's in good faith or not in good faith, maybe, I don't know. It's kind of a funny little cheeky thought.
For example, brick, decorative brick wall, and we could click download. Although I do want to go over
and the moss. Did I see the moss? See, that's what like that texture over here looks like grass, but then this looks, and this is actual proper moss.
the different quality options.
Again, I do apologize.
So right now it's set to highest quality. We have low, medium, high, and highest. Low quality is 1K textures, medium quality is 2K, high quality is 4K, and highest quality is 8K. So
okay, okay, guys, you don't have to be super. Okay, why doesn't... Okay, so Polygon has that. I'm like, I don't know the quality here. What is low K? Or what is low quality? 1K? 2K? What's your definition of low quality nowadays? 2K? I would say it's 2K. Because now we have... If you go Polygon, you can go up to like 16K in some of their textures. Not even for HDRIs.
I think generally, unless you're really trying to go for the best looking render as possible, I wouldn't go with 8K textures. The highest I would go with is 4K.
Yeah, there's I could go and talk about that. That's huge. You don't really want to use those big ones. You just want to kind of use the little ones. Because if you're going to have a lot of big ones, bad optimization. A lot of little ones, good optimization. Also, we got a lawn. Patchy, artificial, dried. Oh my goodness.
So you're going to have to wait for this to download.
Oh yeah, that's right. We're downloading stuff. I'll just go for it because I know this is going to be laggy because I'm downloading all the assets. 1K. Medium quality would be good. Download. 2x2 meter. Awesome. Oh, this is awesome. This is so sick getting into this. Oh, it's easy. So then just drag and drop.
And once it is done downloading, simply click the add button. Immediately, we will...
Oh, that's right. I'm clicking the add button. Clicked it. Oh, it actually puts me in... Oh, so I'm right into it like it did here again. Yeah, there's instance, 2K.
See that our content browser opens up, and we get our material right there. The material functions like any other material. You can drag it and let go to place it on an object. So now we have our brick in our world. I can select this brick.
Okay, well, I'm being cheeky, right? Because I'm trying to do it through this method. Which I would have to take the assets, right? Okay. What happened? I didn't... Okay, whatever. I guess you gotta save that somehow? I don't want to put it on that. Wait, what am I thinking? Right? Content. Surfaces. This is landscape. So I'm going to go for moss. And then moss. That's right, control. 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 But I don't. You don't need to control it that way. You can just. Boom. Boom. A little confusing, but. Oh. There we go. Shifted the old moss texture out. Then I should apply. Save. Now let's see. Should be like that. No. Really? Oh, Jesus. Is that because of the exposure? Why is that happening? Huh? Maybe it is because of the exposure? Post-press? It is. It's that mossy? Mossy. I need this, right? What is this? Ord? Wait, what is Ord? Wait, hold up. Of course I gotta do something complicated, right? That's me in a nutshell. I feel like this is not working like it should be. This is... number one. I guess I did it wrong. Yeah, I guess I did because I've seen the names now. But regardless of that, though... this is... so it just shows it there. Yes. Okay. I'm just understanding. Okay. Everything's slowly clicking in the head. Slowly clicking. Not looking too great, but this is for testing purposes, of course.
And open up its material instance to see.
I feel... actually, I kind of want to... just straight up to... color all this. Okay. And then grass. Okay. 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 Every sculpting, everything like this goes through the ugly phase. Especially sculpting. But doing this, messing around, it's actually looking kind of nice. This legit just could be dirt mountains, but I kind of wanted them to be mountains, like rock, but actually think more dirt mountains. Well, unrealistic, but it reminds me of like a Minecraft valley. Now if I save. For me, this is kind of trippy because when I first did modeling stuff, I did it on a very bad laptop. But I say very bad, but it's like for the time, not really. But doing Cinema 4D. And I remember I still remember the scene I first did. Or one of my first scenes of just like, I didn't even understand what the heck Cinema 4D was. Like, it had textures, like, but it was very bad UI. I mean, it's still good, especially for that day. But it was a scene where I had the stick figure guy, Cinema 4D stick figure guy, had his arms. There was a camera. I think I even modeled the camera, like, through some blocks and stuff like that. He had his hands on it like he was taking a picture, and I had a pyramid. And I did textures, too. So bricks on the pyramid, and then sand. And I deformed the terrain. And then just, like, with this, it's kind of trippy, because it's just, like, the silhouette and everything looks the same and kind of, like, the terrain. Oh, man. Especially, like, the height here. It would be kind of cool to maybe, like, recreate that or something. Oh, that's so cool. There's a few other things I did with that, but that's the main thing I remember. Because it actually looked really... I still remember it. looks really good. Like for like a good artsy type of thing, it's pretty nice. Even this is pretty artsy. I mean, it's got good lighting, it's got good shadows. I mean, shoot. Crop it up a little bit, maybe kind of fix that. So you only get the top half, of course, like posing and all that. But man, that's okay, cool. But he is right though, because it does take away when you see this. Because that's another good thing. He was talking about like you don't want to distract, because that's true, because it doesn't really blend in with the surroundings. If I actually move this block probably over here, it probably would feel a little bit better. Well, it's in the ground. It does, because the textures and everything. Yeah, it feels a little bit better, but having the full texture or the full type of attention on this texture alone makes it look much better than just having kind of like all this around it, which is an interesting thing. Kind of hits the uncanny valley already, which shows just how good our eyes are at detecting any slight differences. Even the untrained eye, it just feels weird. Looks wrong. Or it looks wrong, feels weird, whatever that uncanny valley is. Also, I'm looking over here. Decal? Oh, they got decals. Oh. That's cool. Imperfections. Oh, they got imperfections. Oh. And then we can layer. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so nice. Imperfections are so nice. You can easily add imperfections onto a texture. Especially terrain. That could be like a thing on top, add extra stuff. Make it maybe like seem like, yeah, blood, and then change the color of it and all that stuff. Oh, wow. That's really sick. Also, check the metahumans. Latest metahumans. Featured metahumans, yeah, of course. I cannot wait until that's like out and about the metahumans program. I tried to sign into it or like get applied to it, but of course, so many people applying to it, probably not going to happen. Ah, I see. Oh, okay. That's what the collections are. Okay. So I guess it's like all this, but like just in groups, collections. Yo, this is nutty. We're at 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 34 seconds. I felt like we just learned so much more, which we